Hey everybody, XEI here, channel update time. So we're 3 months into 2017, a couple awesome things have happened in terms of the games that have been played, the upload rate on the channel. I'll get into a couple things. Let's start right at the beginning. So games, Dragon Age Awakening is done. It's recorded. I think by the time this comes out, it's going to be one more episode that's going to get released. As you guys have noticed in the comments, I did not take Nathaniel with me. You guys will let me know that if I don't go back and replay the ending from Vigil's Keep to the Mother with Nathaniel on the party, Dragon Age 2 will presume that Nathaniel died at Vigil's Keep and he will never appear again. I can't have that. I need to take control over the destiny of Nathaniel. I want him to be in the game still, whether Xander's going to interact with him more or not. That's besides the point. He was not meant to die. It said so in the epilogue, and so I need to do whatever I need to do in order to play that out in the way it needs to be played out. And just to be clear, if he legitimately died in Vigil's Keep because of the decision made, that would have been the consequences. I would have moved on. I would have been totally fine. I will not accept a bug deciding the fate of Nathaniel Howe. So that's done. So after that, I will record the episode where I bring Nathaniel and Vilana onto the party. Thanks for the recommendations. So I'm going to record that. See, it's probably going to be, I don't know, I think, what did it take? Like 2 hours maybe for the end, 2 hours and a half. So I'll cut that into like a half hour to 45-minute episode. I will cut liberally just so you guys can see some of the stuff that we wouldn't have seen with the original playthrough. Things like opening the chest that I couldn't open. I don't know, finding out if anything new happens with Vilana or Nathaniel in the end scene, stuff like that. The epilogue, let's see what happens in the epilogue. How do things change? Anyways, and then after that, I want to actually record one extra prologue series. I'm going to redo Xander's prologue, so the Dalish Elf start. I want to approach the game as Xander, not as a noob. I mean, not in the noobish way that I approached. Like, I didn't know the game engine. I didn't know. I just didn't know how the game was going, like how free it was going to be, and how like consequential your actions were going to be in your decisions, and really not to come to the game with a predefined character that is in a mold already, because the game is giving you these like lore options that allow you to mold your character as you go, and I was resisting that. And if you watch the first 10 episodes of Dragon Age Origins, you can see that like I'm trying to make the Xander character that I've been playing for 20 years. I'm trying to make the game work around Xander, but it really needs to be you come into the game with a bit of freedom for development, so that the game's lore can then, those inputs can allow you to generate a better idea of the character, a more embedded concept within the lore of the world. And now that I've played Origins and Awakening, I want to go back with that lore in my head, like a better understanding of everything, and how the elves and the Dalish fit into the world, and their take on humans, and their take on like always moving from one spot to another, things like the elven gods, and how they fit into the world. And I want to get into a little bit of Xander's thoughts behind all of that, and I need to re-experience it, because I don't, you know what I mean, like it's been so long now. We started this series last February, was Dragon Age Origins when it started, and we're finishing Origins now, like a year and a month later, and I don't remember what the game gave me on that first Dalish Elf start, and I would love to re-experience that again with the new, with my new sensibilities. I hope you guys are in for that ride. After that, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from Dragon Age. Oh, what am I talking about? Witch Hunt. We're going to do Witch Hunt, because I'm looking so forward to Witch Hunt as both a player, because that literally becomes the end of this entire experience. The start of the channel it's baked into Dragon Age, coming, like me learning like how to record Let's Plays, me finding a voice using Dragon Age and Let's Plays, and bringing a bit of an angle to the LP where it's very RP centric, and different people have different definitions of what RP is. I have very strong opinions about RP in video games versus RP in tabletop. And anyways, I'm going to define it right here. RP for me with video games is getting into the character's mindset, understanding what motivates them, and try to be true to that character's motivations. That alongside of story development, how to create a good story with the character you create in video games. Like if you understand how story elements come together and form the beginning, middle, end, and you understand that there's certain tricks of the trade for creating a narrative that has that fluidity, has that ability to engage you at very specific points of the narrative. That's what I bring to the RPs. That's what I bring to my characters. I want them to have a beginning, I want them to have a middle, and I want them to have an end. So let's go back to Witch Hunt. That's why Witch Hunt is important for me, because that is the closure. That is the closure I've been waiting for the Xander character. Because I made the decision with Morgan inside Origins, like I didn't intend for that to happen, but when it happened, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if Witch Hunt could wrap that up somehow? Like that, I only know Witch is in the title. I don't know if Morgan's even in Witch Hunt. I can only assume that she is. But I would love for there to be enough information in Witch Hunt that lets him, like the ending of Awakening suggests, that the Commander Warden is never seen again, and some say that he went after the Morgan, right? Or like how, I forget what the phrase is, what the line is, but when I read that, I was like, thank you, game, thank you, because I know it probably says that for everybody, but the idea that I made the decision with the Dark Ritual, the idea that I've formed that relationship with Morgan, and that it is meaningful for Xander. It might not be meaningful in the traditional sense, but it's a very meaningful connection he had with Morgan, and why he would go after her needs to be explored, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for what Witch Hunt is going to offer. I don't even know how I started this. Yeah, right. So Witch Hunt, then I will do the Golems game just for completeness sake, but I'm not going to let that delay Dragon Age 2. If it happens that I just need a break from Golems as well, like I'm not going to do Golems right away, but I will eventually do it. And then we'll jump into Dragon Age 2 probably in May, I would guess. I'll probably take April just to do some cleanup on the Dragon Age stuff, the lore. I also maybe want to get through one of the novels so that I can review it on this channel. Maybe one of the graphic novels, I think, is in continuity of like Origins and Awakening. So I'm going to try to catch up with the literature as well, so that I can bring you my opinion on that. And of course, I'm pre-spoiler warning here. If you haven't read the novels, you haven't read the graphic novels, don't watch those reviews, because I'll probably go into spoiler territory pretty quickly. Outside of that, Mass Effect, I'm about 60 to 70% of the way through of the Mass Effect 1. I do want to try to get at least the level 60. I'm not hung up on completion, on being a completionist with Mass Effect, but if I got the time and I'm just kind of like, doing stuff that, like on planets anyways, I'm gonna go after those bonus quests or whatever that you can get, right? The insignias and the material, the minerals and all that stuff, just because there's good money in it, there's good XP, it's gonna get me to 60 faster, it's gonna at least bring closure to me, for the closure. It's closure for me for the game, so that I can bring Joshua Coyote into Mass Effect 2. And I will also say, there's a good chance I will jump into Mass Effect 2 right away, and that might come before Dragon Age 2. I've already got it on Steam, I've had it for years, so I might as well just roll into that one, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Undertale is done. That one took a long time to do. I mean, I had hair and a shaved face when I started that one, and now I've got a bald head and a beard. So that's an interesting little journey there with the Undertale series. It's not that I didn't care for the game. I think the game was exquisitely executed. I think it's a genius game from a development standpoint, from a story standpoint, from the subtext standpoint. I think it's just a brilliant piece of art. Like, I think it almost stops becoming a game because of the intricate, like how many intricacies are in that entire experience. I can't speak highly enough about it. I didn't I didn't take long breaks from it just because I wasn't interested in the game. There was both life reasons, there was health reasons, there were reasons, and something had to wait for the channel. I wanted to focus on the big long form games. I wanted to really get through them, and Undertale, there's a certain investment you have to bring to Undertale as a player to honor that experience that it's giving you. And I felt like at times I was intimidated to come back to the game because I wasn't in the right frame of mind to approach a game like that and absorb it in a way that I felt like it deserved. And that's really what it comes down to. And I know the game doesn't play the same this the second time around, etc., etc. And so I'm very happy with the experience and the culmination of that, and the fact that it's done, and I can put completed beside the games playlist now, and I can shelve it, and we can move on to new games. And so that sets us off for a really good 2017. Because I think you guys are with me here. I think Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 2 can probably get done this year. At this rate, we can probably get done this year. I will say that upload rates have increased. There was the 500th upload last week. It's now at 515 or 513 or something like that. There were 40 uploads in the last 28 days. That gives you an indication of just the momentum that is happening on this channel. I don't feel taxed by it. I don't feel like it's like gonna burn me out. I'm not gonna get burnt out. I think there's some solid sustainability practices, and that's a very kind of like businessy, corporate term thing. This is the way I think about projects, and so hang in there with me. Yeah, I'm not really ahead of myself anymore. All the games, all the series are literally coming to an end in the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna have no backlog. It's gonna be a clean slate in April, and it's really gonna come down to just what are we doing now? And so April's going to be this, I do want to take April to maybe tweak the way I capture videos. Like, for example, the length I keep talking about this, I know, but I want to reduce. I really need to be strict with myself. I keep going over the 30-minute mark. I always go over the 45-minute mark, and I really need to stop doing that, because it does make the production side of things take longer than you'd think. For an extra 15 minutes, you freeze yourself unnecessarily as like just in the content creation stream. So you know what, I'm gonna cut myself off. That's it. That's the channel update. Like I said, mid-April, end of April, we're gonna have a clean slate. We're gonna have at least Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2 rolling us into summer, and I'm going to add another one or two series to the channel, the smaller form ones. I will say right now, I've installed Wolf Among Us by Telltale Games. I feel like that's going to be the first of the Telltale games I'm going to bring to the channel. I know this came out of nowhere, but I really feel like I really want to play a Telltale game. So there you go. There's the update. Catch you around soon, everybody. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire. Peace, everybody.